So usually Canberra man Dan Sanguineti runs a video production company shooting everything from events to workshops, and in his spare time there is a horror feature film in production. Well, COVID-19 has stopped all that, unfortunately. But Dan has been getting creative and attracting attention on Twitter by posting all sorts of social distancing marks that are popping up around the city. Dan Sanguinetti is with you right now. Welcome to Afternoons, Dan. How are you going today?
I'm going well. Thank you for having me.
It's good to hear from you. To start off with, though, it's been a very tricky time for creative people like yourself who are in the video production industry. What have you been doing over the past weeks?
Well, it started off with a lot of panic, let's be honest, because a lot of things shut down very quickly, one after the other. You know, like with the nature of my business, I do a lot of different things. So I have lots of little revenue streams that come in, but beginning of March, each one shut down step by step, and it just got pretty crazy. So I spent almost like 3 weeks sitting at home watching Netflix, feeling like it was the end of the world. But in time, obviously I had to get out and get some food from the shops, and you know, I realized we could venture out and that we wouldn't be arrested on site by the police or anything like that. And I started noticing that a lot of the businesses that have stayed open have started putting these markers on the ground, and it just kind of got me excited. So I started taking a photo of them, and then it just didn't stop. And I've just been taking, every time I'm out, I'm just like, I'm seeing a new one. Like a lot of these businesses are getting really creative with what, you know, they're putting down on the ground to help people understand what 1.5 meters is. And I mean, there's some that are a lot closer than others and some that are really far, but it's just been like this interesting sort of Pokemon type hunt of going, oh, look, there's another one. I'm going to grab a photo of that one and then another one. So and I've just started sharing them online. So it's been fun.
Well, taking the photos, do you reckon that was the bit of a, I don't know, like a coping mechanism for you to do something creative?
Yeah, look, I have struggled to find where my creative place needs to be in this. You know, like I'm used to sort of being out with a camera, shooting different things, like if it's an event or a wedding, you know, I'm always finding an angle, finding something. And so, yeah, it was just this natural instinct. You know, I'm not a professional photographer. I'm much more of a videographer, a cinematographer. So I deal with moving images, but with iPhones these days, like the quality of the images are fantastic. And so I've just sort of, I'm not using any fancy lenses or any, clever lighting. It's just simply, I've just got my phone out and there's taken interesting angles of these markings on the ground.
So you've been sharing the photos. Where have you been sharing them, and what has the response been, Dan?
I started on Instagram, and then I've sort of moved over to Twitter, and I've put on, also on Facebook as well. People are just a bit confused, I think is part of what, because I don't put too much context, but I've been posting 4 at a time, and I've been challenging people to sort of guess where they are, and no one's really guessing. I think the one someone worked out was one at KFC. It was in the KFC line, but apart from that, they've had no idea from the comments that I've been getting.
You're on Afternoons on ABC Radio Canberra, and with you is Dan Sanguinetti. He is a Canberra filmmaker. Yeah, usually he is in video production, but at the moment he has been keeping his creative juices flowing by photographing the physical distancing signs that you might be seeing in the crosses on the floor, and he's been posting them online. But I'm really intrigued by the fact that you're working on a horror film, Dan.
Yeah.
Do these times give you any added inspiration for a horror flick?
Yes, I think we've sort of been predicting these sort of scenario through film for a little while. Obviously we've been quite lucky in Australia with the overall effect, and it hasn't been as devastating as some places overseas in regards to death count and illnesses and things like that. But it definitely got thinking, ideas thinking. I mean, we were already in production of a horror film before all this started, and that's shut down completely because it's quite a larger project with a large cast and a larger crew, and we were shooting that in Goulburn, and we can't go back to Goulburn until we get approvals from the council there. So we've been working on this script. Sort of, it's like my background, seemingly without intent, has been to produce zombie films. Which is not something I shout about all the time, but it's just the projects.
It's a noble genre of filmmaking, Dan. I won't have anyone trash talk zombie films.
Yeah, but like it's just kind of been the thing that's sort of the projects that have come together with a little bit of money and support and all that sort of thing. So I've come up with a new zombie film. I've been writing it with my good buddy Russell Lee. And it's all shot at distance. So we've done a little bit of filming for it. The main cast all are shooting the film themselves with their cameras, their phone cameras, and their laptops and things like that. And it's set during an isolation type thing that's happening now, and ultimately it turns into a zombie film. But it's something that's just been like trying to, because I've been talking with a lot of my acting friends, and they want projects, and I'm like, I can't shoot anything because social distancing. But this little kind of idea, it's fun. It uses the isolation concept, I think. Well, I mean, I know, trying to turn it into a zombie film at the end is probably the complete fictional side of it, but the film really does start out to be what we're doing with our time at home and being away from our friends.
Dan, I don't want to question your creative vision at all, but the idea of a zombie, I don't know, it's not scaring me as much if I know it's going to stay at least 1.5 meters away from me. How do you get it to be scary but still social distancing?
Well, see, the thing is, if you don't see it and you only hear it, that's one starting place to get your senses going, and that's kind of how we're approaching it. A lot of this film that we're working on has it's a built on sound, because we've only got limited shots we can do, being that it's all going to be shot through iPhones and laptops. A lot of the outside world is going to be built through sound, and so hopefully that's where a lot of the fear could come from it. It should be a lot of fun too. It's been fun to put together. The main actress, Shani Lee Smith, she's also producing it with me. So as soon as I was like, I've got this project, she jumped on and was just like, yeah, this is amazing. I could do some acting and I don't have to leave my house. I can shoot it around wherever and it'll be fun. So it's been great.
Dan, how do you feel? I mean, when you mentioned what you were like in those first few weeks, where you're probably, binging on streaming services, to now where you're doing something creative, and not only that, but you're giving other creative colleagues and friends something to do. How would you describe how you're feeling from the start of this to today?
Oh, look, it's definitely a much more positive feeling, and it's really kind of shown in the way that I really didn't spend much time posting online, even like in those first couple of week or so. I was kind of like, I don't have nothing to say that's worth saying or positive, but now I've got things I'm sharing, and what that meant is people are messaging me, people are talking to me and asking me questions, and obviously, it's you guys are giving me a call to have a chat, and it's kind of what I think the best parts of social media are. I get completely social media can be a dangerous thing, but when
it can be toxic sometimes.
That's right. But look, the positive sides are there, and I'm glad that I've started trying to embrace it. It's helped me personally over the last couple of weeks, and I'm having a sense of positivity in that. Maybe this will settle down, and things will, clients will start coming back, so I can make some money. I can look at other options, and maybe eventually we can get back to shooting projects that we've put on hold.
Well, Dan, maybe the reason why we're having a chat to you is I've got a secret dream to be a zombie extra one day in a zombie horror film. You don't see a time when you'll be needing people like me to dress up like the living dead?
Oh, well, look, I think considering the way that we're shooting this isolation film, there might be very much an easy way for you to do that. All you would have to do is spend a little time on makeup at home, and then send me some video clip that I can splice in somewhere.
Oh, look, my dream will come true of being a zombie extra in a horror film.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you've done for me today. Look at you making dreams come true.
There you go.
Look, it's been great hearing about your project, Dan, and great hearing good to hear that you're feeling better about things right now. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us here on Afternoons on ABC Radio Canberra. So that's Dan Sanguinetti. He is a Canberra filmmaker, and when usually he's doing video productions, but of course that's not happening at the moment. Instead, he is doing a bit of a photo essay on social distancing signs around the ACT and doing some creative shooting for his horror zombie picture as well.